Welcome to the backyard. Today, we have an absolutely amazing special guest. Special guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yo, my name is SAEG, from Los Angeles, California, and I am a mixed media artist and Nomad and a serial creator.
Yeah, serial creator. What do you mean by that?
I just like to create things, different things, businesses, film. I work a lot in the film industry as well. It's not really as publicized yet, but I'm working on a bunch of projects there. I work in real estate, finance, just creating opportunities, environment, experiences. I just love creating.
Just a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And tell them, what does a SAEG mean? What does your name mean?
So SAGE means self-determination. That's the S. The A is authenticity. The E is evolution, and G is greatness. And the methodology or the ideology behind it is that through self-determination and being our most authentic selves, we can evolve and become the greatest version of ourselves as well. But also, like, I do believe that a lot of things that we want in life have to be internal and self-determined and not like looking for validation or external factors to fulfill us or give us happiness. It's really all about, starts within.
No, I agree. It starts within. And when did you find that you were that creativity within you? When did that start?
It started when I was very young. I'm an only child, grew up a lot of my life alone. My parents divorced when I was like 6. And then I didn't really see a lot of my dad, and my mom was always working. She had other mental health issues and addiction problems, and I really just grew up by myself. So I had to create. I just always was in the process of creating things to either escape my reality or give me company. Like I would create characters and stories. I had action figures. I had a lot of Dragon Ball Z action figures. So I would just have just crazy stories I would make up, and that just led into other things like storytelling, and then that eventually led into poetry, and then poetry eventually led into music, and then music into film, and just kind of kept growing from there.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. It started with a small seed and has grown into a beautiful tree.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned your childhood and playing with those Dragon Ball action figures, having fun, being playful. Would you say that you're still playful now in a way? Is that how does and if you are, how does that help you?
Yeah, I still am at heart. I think because I've been in the business side for so long, I'm starting to get into that process where I'm detached from the product a little bit, which I don't like. I do miss that, looking at things from a not so serious lens. Like now when I create, I'm thinking about, okay, how am I going to market this? How am I going to, make a post or edit this video? Like I'm not thinking about, I'm not like in present of the art anymore, and it's not as fun. But I do, like when I'm creating the ideas, it's like a kid just thinking about things. So I have these wild, grand ideas, and that's the child in me. But then that, the adult side gets in, oh, we can't do this, I can't do that, and then you start second guessing yourself. But at heart, I think being able to at least have that vision without limits from the jump kind of helps me to think out the box more often.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us artists, we grow up to be somewhat like pessimistic and skeptical of the world and our own work. How do you deal with that?
For a lot of it, luckily for me, like I said, that's why I always promote like self-determination, because I really just do what I feel like aligns with me. So I don't get it too, anytime I even find myself critiquing it too much, it's like, this is what I am, this is what I want to put out, and just hoping that someone else out there can find or could connect whatever art that is, So I might spend a little bit on it, but after a while I'm like, all right, I need to create something new, I need to move on. So I just and I think what helps me is having that schedule and having that just always pushing forward mindset.
Let's talk about like social media and streaming services. I know that you're not particularly a fan of them. Would you like to explain your stance on that?
Yeah, streaming for me, I understand the the positive aspects. So it does broaden your audience. It allows you to kind of package yourself a little bit more efficiently, because people are going to come across you in one. They're going to hear the music. They're just going to hear the art first, and then they're going to maybe search more and get your social media, and then followed by who you are. But they get to see the art first. Whereas a lot of time with social media, if someone come across your profile on social media, they see your face, they see, your following, and they get lost in a bunch of other stuff that doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. But on streaming, you get the art. So I get that, the baseline aspect of it, but the amount of money that an artist has to put forward in order to even create a song, in terms of promoting it or producing it, you have to pay producers. I mean, now with AI, it's a little bit better, but there's a lot of people you have to pay before you even, get a return on your song. If you get a return, you don't even know if people like it. You just don't know. So putting all that work in just to get $1 for every 1,000 streams just doesn't make a lot of sense for me, and it's not sustainable long term. But also, in the terms and conditions of a lot of these streaming services, they own portions of your music. And with that, because of AI, they can use that to train their AI systems to then kind of push your content to the bottom while they push their AI artists and stuff that they have. And they've already started doing it. So I think it just causes sets a bad precedent for the future.
Yeah, no, that precedent has already been set, and it's already in motion. And we see so many AI generative AI art coming out and taking the jobs of the precious few jobs that we as artists have. What is your relationship with artificial intelligence, and what do you think about it?
I've really been using AI for a long time on the production side. A lot of music that's mastered now is AI. You rarely go to a studio to get mixed and mastered now. Oh, sorry. Thought this was off. But yeah, you don't really go to a studio to get mixed and mastered. So the stems will be automatically quantized, or you may be able to, splice certain vocal stems together. But I've always used that as a tool and not the main product. So I like that it gives people the ability to put forth music that they normally wouldn't be able to. Like maybe they don't have the vocal presence, or they don't have the money to get that kind of production done. But I think it lessens the barrier of entry so much that it floods the market, because now anybody can just put out music that he made in seconds, And I know of artists now who are making like 150 songs a day by themselves. And it just floods the market because they're not taking time to think about it or connect with the art. So it just becomes a product. And we're getting lost in the process of creating art. Like there's an art in creating the product, searching out different ideas or finding that right word or going through an experience to get those words or that feeling or that emotion. And we need that still needs to happen. And I feel like AI is going to make that harder to happen. And even with music, it takes a community to make music, right? Like now everybody can create it by themselves, and now they live in a bubble where before, you would get with a singer, or you would get with a guitarist or another artist that could help you improve your art. Now it's just you in your head in the studio just clicking buttons.
I've seen art win entire art competitions, and it's insane that we've gotten to this point where someone that has put thousands of hours into one piece can lose to something that takes 5 seconds to make. It's crazy. But I want to know, what do you think? How do you think artists should think about AI? How should they include that in their work if they were to? Because I know a lot of people are staunchly against that kind of thing. What do you feel like a relationship between AI could look like, a healthy one?
I think a healthy AI relationship would be in the form of getting ideas, because like I said, you can, and I've used it a couple of times just to test it out to see what the capabilities are. I think every artist should know what's capable and how to use AI, because I think in the way it's going to progress is that it's going to be so part of our normal creation process eventually in the next 5 years, because it's just where it's at now. It's only going to get better. And I think by getting that initial relationship now, understanding what it can do, what its limitations are, how it's tracked, because each song now it's like NFTs, like has a digital footprint. So when you create a song through one of these, AI systems, there's a unique track that or marker that comes with that sound or that production, and understanding the ownership rights that come with that, because it's going to get weird soon. So I would suggest putting it in AI, seeing what it comes out with, then trying to reproduce that yourself as much as possible, because it is a good tool, and it does give you versatility. And I would say if you're a writer, to use that as a discography for your song. Like, some people are songwriters and they're not really trying to be front facing artists, but now you can at least showcase your writing skills. So now you're just like, okay, I wrote every word of this, it's just not my voice or my production. And people are actually getting signed from that. So like there's an AI model that got signed $3 million for a record deal.
An AI model?
Yeah. So in these AI systems, you can create a persona around yourself. So you'll make up your own voice, your own style, and then you just write songs, and then it becomes that artist's output. And so you can, because the AI is still a tool right now, so it's only as good as what your prompt is or what you're putting in. Otherwise, it's going to put out generic things that anyone can see. Like, I know when you use ChatGPT, it uses like this weird word, like uses vibrant a lot. Like, you can see certain things, like in stuff now you see, oh, ChatGPT probably wrote that because they use certain words, and that's how the music is too. So just adding your own flair, but using it as a tool and not all-encompassing replacement for creating art.
Yeah, it's crazy how indistinguishable it's become.
Yeah.
There's so much misinformation on the internet now, and you can never tell what's real. It's
crazy. It used to be easy, but now these videos and it's like, oh, I didn't know it was AI.
Yeah, if it was like an AI image of a person, all you had to do was look at the hands. Yeah, because they were always terrible. But now
it's getting hard, man.
They've learned how to do it.
And it's just they were still new into it. Oh man, I can't imagine.
And with how much it's advanced within, like, not even the past year.
A few exactly.
Months,
think about 10 years from now, it's gonna be different.
What do you think because right now I like to use AI every now and again. I play Dungeons and Dragons. I like playing D&D, so I like getting ideas from that and it helping me make adventures and stuff or whatever. But I feel like the optimal use right now that I've seen is the AI DJ on Spotify.
Oh yeah,
I think honestly, I think that's the coolest thing ever. It'll give you new recommendations and play things that you already like. But what do you think the optimal use of AI should be?
I think AI would be best in the social aspect. I think it could be used better to connect like-minded people, but not the same type of people. Like, I think right now it's all keeping the same type of people together, but I think it would be better if it could analyze like similar interests, but not the same. Like, get it close enough to your personality or your things that you like, and give a more diverse set. So that you can get more of things that can maybe inspire, give perspective on something else that you may not have through the algorithm. But yeah, that's the only problem now is that I've heard that the missions or the buildings that use to process AI are causing health effects to people in areas. So that's the part I'm kind of don't know how I feel about that yet.
I've heard it's like poisoning the air.
It's like poisoning the air in these cities, and people aren't getting the help they need. It's like turning their water poisonous. So we got to do something about that too. But it's going to be hard to make people stop using ChatGPT every day because there's so many, and it's not in their immediate. It's not something immediate forefront of your mind that if I'm typing, give me a exercise itinerary for the next 5 days that it's going to poison somebody's water. But
you don't see the immediate consequences.
You don't see the immediate consequences, so it's like you don't think about it. And people use it so much now. Because another job that I do is I evaluate prompts. So anything time someone puts in a prompt, I evaluate the output and I trace it back to where it's pulling it from to make sure it's accurate and not like dangerous or anyway. And the stuff I see come through is like the most stupidest thing. Like, how do I remove a dead body, or what is the temperature on Mars? Like, it's just random. You just see random stuff. And
are
it's
these
like,
prompts like actual people are?
Yeah, these are actual people that are sending them in. So it's like their beta testers are like, they may get like a trial where, you know, hey, use our AI system, and then that AI system will contact other people to evaluate the responses. But yeah, it's wild. I wish there was a way to use it for like real things, I guess, and then use like Google or something else for like the general questions. But yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're going to live through it. So.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey for sure.
But I want to go back to you and talk about your journey, right? Yeah. So earlier I said, and you've said it before, that you would call yourself a nomad, right? So you've been all over the place, and you've seen so many different people, so many different communities, so much different art. What would you say is kind of like a through line, or like a common theme between those communities that makes them thrive?
Communication. I think the biggest thing is learning how to talk to people, and people just learning how to talk to each other. Like I said, social media kind of removes a lot of communication with emojis, or you could just like something instead of expressing why you like that, or hearing a different perspective on something that you may not have heard, and actually engaging with that instead of like on Instagram, if you don't like something, you just scroll past it, or you can say something bad or something, you know, but that person, you don't actually not face to face with a person. So the best communities are the ones that communicate with each other and are vulnerable and share with each other. And just community in general. People want community, they just don't know how to, or there's not a person to make it all happen, or put the right people together to do it. And that's a big thing. Because people want to do that. I think that's inherent to the human psychology. We're social creatures. I mean, most creatures are social, but we are definitely ones that thrive in packs. And yeah, that would be the throw line, I would say. Yeah, community has been a real big thing for me because I didn't have that growing up. I was just me by myself, so it's why I go so hard for it. Like I've gone years without any physical touch, and I know that might seem crazy, but like I'm talking about years without even like a hug, a dap, a kiss, or anything. And what that does to the mind and body, like we need the interaction. When you're just by yourself, thoughts can twist on each other, and I have mental health issues too. Like I have PTSD, I have major depressive disorder, dissociative identity disorder. So it's a lot of things that I suffer with just internally, that when I'm by myself, it just gets worse. It just compounds on itself. And so the through line with each community is being able to meet people where they are and allow people to be themselves without judgment. I think the best communities are those that have a more diverse perspective of who people are and who they themselves are, and having that curiosity about learning about other people. When you listen more than you talk, you're able to gain more insight about yourself. I know it's counterintuitive because you're listening to someone else speak, but we are each other. And I think that is the basis of community, and realizing that we come from the same source. Maybe we come from different families, genealogies, whatever, but we all, whatever creates or moves this thing, we all came from that same energy, whatever you want to consider it. So we are the same in a lot of aspects, and just finding that commonality.
We were talking about echo chambers earlier. Yeah. Being by yourself in your head is the greatest echo chamber of them all.
It's terrible, man. You start thinking things are real and it's not. Like, you just start critiquing yourself and being hard on yourself, when it's like you're more privileged than so many other people, you know? Like, some people, and because I've been so many places, I know there's some people living in some just conditions you can't even imagine. Like, I mean, even like people in war, you know, taking that privilege and understanding the privilege that we have, that kind of gets you back in the present. Like, you know, oh, my car's not working, but I have a car, you know, like it's not doing the best, or, you know, I'm mad because I had to pay this bill, but it's like at the end of the day, I got a car and I can get around, and a lot of people can't do that. So, yeah, just having that presence of mind. At the end of the day, we're all just dust particles. Like, you know, we just float. We're like, nobody really knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but meeting other people who obviously don't know what's going on too, it's like, oh, you know, none of what's going on. Let's just enjoy this ride together. You know, it makes it a lot easier to just enjoy life. You can't just be it by yourself. And social media just makes you live in this continuous world. And it's like, no, you got to really go out, touch people, hug people, be around people's energy, you know.
Just talk to them, get different perspectives, you know? And because if you're trapped with your own, like we said, you're just gonna spiral.
Man.
And I've had a hard time with that myself. Because you've done it, how would you bring people together? What are some ideas that you've had or that you've executed that have really, like, you know, done that for people, that have created community spaces or you know, just brought those connections together?
So everywhere I go, I try to immerse myself as much in the culture. I'll go out to anything. If it's on an Eventbrite, or if I see it on Instagram from a random post, I'll just come up. It could be whatever it is, and just see what those people engage with, what those people value, how they communicate with each other. I grew up alone, and I was always a new kid. I went to like 11 different schools. I spent a lot of time analyzing people and like reading people and their how they talk, their facial expressions, how they move, and just getting a sense of people really early on. So I can make, I don't want to say judgments. I don't put people in boxes, but the more people you meet, the more you realize how much we are same than we are, that we're alike than we are different, and that people still value the same core things. It's just how it is displayed is different. And once you understand that, it's easier to talk to anybody from any walk of life, because I've lived almost every walk of life. Like, been homeless, I've been broke, I've made a lot of money, I've been on TV, I've been the new kid, you know, I've been in gangs, I've done, like, you know, like I've lived a lot of different lives within that. So I just know how to talk to so many people from any walk of life. But I'm also, I mean, I know I'm talking a lot now, but it's just because of the interview. But usually I'm a listener. I just like to sit and listen to people talk and how they think. And then once you get that, a good sense, then you can create a community, an event or something that can actually benefit these people. A lot of times where I see people fail is that they try to make an event that they think they'll like, and maybe it might go well, but they're not thinking about the collective or what people are going to leave with after this event. They're just thinking about, oh, how can I make myself look good, or whatever their ulterior motive is. But when it's centered around community, even if it's not perfect when it comes out, even if it's not, you know, the best event, people still will feel like people feel it. It's like when it's real, you feel it, you know, and that just grows naturally.
Yeah, I think the most important thing about any event that anyone can throw is just having a purpose to it. Like having something that they'll leave with, that they'll take with them, whether it's a friend or just the experience as a whole. Purpose is just essential. Exactly. You can't waste people's time and expect them to want to come back or
exactly.
And even in, like, I notice at like parties and stuff, like events, or like you know, people don't even dance anymore. Right. they don't even even enjoy the music the way that people were 20, 30 years ago.
Exactly.
Know? And you gotta wonder why is that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's I think we have a lot more social anxiety than we used to have. Just because we know how many eyes are on us now because of social media. Like, we know people are watching us, so we're thinking about what they're thinking, you know, how we're being perceived. We're so hyper aware now that it's kind of takes the fun out of it. But even even there's an art and community in deconstructing that and getting people to get out of their shells or out of their boxes and really just coming out and communicating with each person. Like all my events, I usually take time to talk to each person that comes and try to create a connection with them personally to know this isn't just an event. This is a moment. This is an experience. This is a human event, you know, like this isn't just a product or not just trying to show you something. I'm trying to get to know you, trying to create a bond, you know?
Yeah, you got to make people feel like they're valued.
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of the time, I just don't see that.
Yeah, you don't, you know? People are just trying to grow their event. They don't really care who comes or as long as they make money or they get the followers and likes that they want. I mean, to me, that's just short-lived.
Yeah.
You know?
Very much so.
It's not fulfilling. It might be fulfilling in that moment because you get the money, but over time, doesn't give you real anything that is long-lasting.
What are some stories that are related to community that you have that come to mind that have really stuck with you?
In Savannah, I was running a food pantry in very low-income neighborhoods. So in most lower income neighborhoods, they have these free lunch, and it's for people who are on SNAP or government assistance, because a lot of those kids don't have food during the weekend. You know, they might have leftovers from whatever, but the food stamps only cover them so much. So we used to bag a bunch of lunches and give them out to kids so they have food during the weekend. And when I was building that community, it was really fulfilling because we were also tutoring young kids and really into the community about just coming together, learning from each other. I hosted a STEM project for kids for science, technology, and education and math, and we would tutor. And that was one of my most fulfilling. It's always stuck with me because just working with the youth and seeing the influence that you can impact. Like, even for me, there's so many things that I wish I would have had growing up. You know, I wish I had, I don't want to say me for me, but like someone like me who was willing to pass down knowledge or say what they know or try to help at all. So I just want to be that, and I got to be that for so many kids and people, and it was just really fulfilling because it was for like a year or two, you know, just out there doing fundraisers, giving away bikes on you know, Christmas, doing turkey giveaways, and just really seeing how that impacted people, you know. Like I've even had people like say that really gave them love for humanity again, because they were just, you know, in these places, you know, you just see so much negativity, and then you finally see someone like, oh, actually trying to do something to help improve, you know. So that's probably my biggest experience with community.
Yeah, that's God's work right there.
Yeah,
we're just good stuff happening. It's amazing. Yeah, and working with kids it teaches you a lot.
A lot about
a lot.
Yeah.
These kids are crazy, let me tell you. But anyway, like what have you learned from them?
Patience. I learned a lot of patience working with kids because I don't really spend a lot of time with kids in general. Just I don't know. I mean, I have friends and family with kids, but I rarely ever see them around them. So just having to repeat things so many times or think about how things were new. You know, you don't think about, I mean, I have new experiences sometimes. Most time things I've already done or it's a derivative of something I've already done. For a lot of these kids, it could be you're having a new experiences. You know, you have to, and being present with that and going back to like, and looking at things new again. So it really taught me how to just look at the bare and keep things simple, because they can't really retain a lot and stuff like that. So you have to find a way to make these, you know, lessons really simple. And then in that process, you're like, oh, you know, it kind of uncomplicates things in your own life and your things, like, you know, because you see kids make relationships with each other so easily, like, you know, just person like, oh, I like the cars, and now they're just playing cards together and just friends. And it's like, it should be that easy, you know. But then we get out in the world and you're like, we're adults now, we're thinking about so many different things. It's like, you like coffee, I like coffee, let's drink coffee. It shouldn't be, you know. But yeah, just being around kids just made me realize things aren't that that deep sometimes, you know.
It's just good to get that perspective from young people, because they think completely differently than us.
Exactly. It's just very simple, direct. Like they don't have any like filters, so they just say whatever. Hurt your feelings, they don't care. It's just like
when this like these two kids that I had once. The first interaction I had with them was like an interrogation. They were like, James, are you? Do you live with your mom? Do you do your own laundry? Mr. James, are you gay? I'm like,
yeah, it's just straight off the top. Like, they don't care. It's no like warning. It's just it's like, but it's refreshing though, because it's like, I almost like people to just say what they feel or whatever, even if it's bad. Like, I'd rather just be out than me have to figure out stuff. And these kids, you know exactly how they're feeling for most of the part, until they get around 13. Then that's where things, you know, hormones, and then you start thinking about things, and everything becomes complicated all of a sudden. But before then, it's fun.
Yeah. I was just living it up back then. Yeah. No worries. Just
nothing.
Just playing with my toys with my sister. It was. I wish that I could tap back into that frequency like I used to. Like I think like a kid like I used to. But
yeah, it's a process to get back to that.
Train it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say you're a dreamer, kind of a visionary?
Yeah, definitely. I think in big pictures generally. My major was philosophy in college, so I'm so used to just like seeing like the big picture and dissecting like the whole of the thing. But I just love dreaming. I love thinking about just endless possibilities and just letting the mind go.
And how do you begin to approach those possibilities? Because a lot of us, we tend to get we get these ideas stuck in our head and never actually like put them out into the world. So what are the steps that you take to make these possibilities possible and real?
So I do something called time blocking, where I'll just take a specific amount of time, like maybe 30 minutes or an hour, and just brainstorm. And when I brainstorm, I just get in my mind that don't think about anything. Don't think about money. Don't think about political. Don't think about anything, but just what do you feel that you want to see in the world? What kind of experience do you want to create? And then, you know, I'll have this grand idea. Maybe, so for example, I had an idea of touring, and I wanted to tour like 50 states, or go to every single state and do a, you know, intimate show. That's a really big thing, and that would cost a big budget. But so I think about, okay, this is what I want to do. How do I start? So I start from the end, and just break all the way down to the very last, like, what's the very beginning step that it would take to get to there. So once I write all those ideas down, I look at it and I just dissect and just go down all the way until the very bare bones of like, okay, you have to create LLC. Okay, have to create LLC, and then just go, you know, from there.
What are some of those like foundational skills that artists should have if they are going to like really work out their dreams and make them a reality?
That's a good question. I think a lot of foundational things is learning how to look at, first of all, identifying your audience, and identifying your why. Like, why are you really pursuing this? Are you pursuing it for fame? Are you pursuing it for money? Is it a personal fulfillment of something that you enjoy? Because that's going to determine how you go about achieving your goal. So if your only idea is fame, there's a path for that. If the only idea is just want to make money or be a living musician or artist, there's a path for that. If you just want to simply do it as a fulfilling thing or build a community, there's a path for that. Each one comes with a different length, you know. Fame is a lot quicker to get, especially now. Living as a musician, it's kind of probably the second tier, and then trying to do grassroots, just authentically being yourself and just, you know, being outside. It's a longer road, but it's a more lasting road, you know. So yeah, I would just say identifying your why, identifying your audience, and then getting out of your own way. I think a lot of artists, they overthink things when it's really simple. Like, people just want to get to know you, and then your art if your art is, if it's one of those things that's fulfilling and you love to do it, just do it and show people, and then the right people will come, you know.
What's your why?
My why is that I never wanted someone to feel like I felt, in the terms of feeling different, feeling weird, feeling out of place, because all my life I've always felt that. I've always had different ideas and different thoughts that people don't usually think about, and I wanted to get those out and also connect with people who also had these ideas and thoughts, and you know, I'd be like, oh, I've always thought about that, I never heard someone talk about it in this way, or and just share my life from my perspective, because I know a lot of people haven't really lived or seen that way. A lot of people really, most of the time, only live like one or two lives. Like they go to college, they get a job, and then that's just kind of, you know, the life trajectory, which is cool. And they may not get to live another life. So I want to show that and just open their mind to certain things and just the complexity of the human experience, because I think there's a lot of stuff in us that maybe we don't want to address, or we're afraid to how people would think if we said a certain thing or if we did a certain thing. And some people judge based off like one thing of you. Like you could be a great person, but because you did this one thing that I didn't like, now you're not a good person. So I want to show that people can be many different ways. People can be multifaceted, and maybe you might not like this side of them, but they might have this other side that is just as deserving of love or just as deserving as respect, you know? So that's really what my why is.
Yeah, that's amazing. And your experiences as an artist, every artist is shaped by their experiences. How have your experiences shaped you?
My experiences shaped me completely. Like I've had multiple like near-death experiences in my life, from just stuff I was at, like with gangs when I was younger, and just not doing the right things. Yeah, so like there's something that happens when you face death. If you never really experienced it, it's kind of hard to explain, but it changes your perspective on just life, the things that matter, your priorities. And because of that, like, I know what it's like and what the thoughts are when you're about to die. Like, I know what goes on in your head, and a lot of it isn't about, oh, I wish I made this amount of money, or, you know, these other things that we fill our heads with. It's always like, dang, I wish I had done that, or seen where this went, or had this experience, or told this person how I felt. You know, it's always that. So when I create, when I'm creating, and why I create so much is because I really feel like today could be my last day. So I try to live and express as much as I can, as much as possible. Maybe I'm not releasing it all, but I have it somewhere stored as someone, even when I pass, that, these are recorded and documented, and someone can gain something from them. And that's just what my focus of it is.
And for all the people that you've met and all the places that you've been, what do you take from those people? Like, how do you like, what do you get after those experiences?
I've gotten so much from. I think every person I meet, I feel like you can learn something from everybody. I think everybody has something from. I don't care who it is. Maybe someone that you run into at the gas station. There's some people I've gotten so deep with, from people that was just passing by, and we just had a passing conversation that just turned into something else, and then, we meet each other down the line, and then we grow more into that connection. And I guess the main thing I take away with is that the human experience is very beautiful. I know a lot of people get caught up in the struggle of it, but part of the struggle is beauty. And I've seen, people with no money and probably some of the worst conditions be so happy and joyful. And then I've been around millionaires who seem to have it all, but they're miserable, or they're stressed, or, they can't even really enjoy what they have. And so it just keeps me just aware of just the things in life that really matter. So that's really what I take on most people, is just what really matters, you know, to them in this experience as that we're on this earth, you know.
And for those millionaires, what do you think it is that makes them, like, what do you think is missing?
A lot of them that I meet, they were so focused on this one thing that they thought was going to bring them whatever they were looking for, and it often isn't that. But by the time they've put in all the work to get there, there's so many things that you have to do to sustain where you're at, and they're so afraid of losing what that is, because they think, you know, they're still trying to search for whatever that is, and then they just get lost in that. You know, friendships become transactions. You can't really go certain places because you don't know who's for you and who's trying to take from you. So you're always in this constant betrayal mindset, like, and no one can live like that. You can't live your life never trusting people or never getting close to someone or letting your guard down. It's not a healthy lifestyle for anybody. So I think that eventually is what gets them, and they just get caught in this hustle mode, like they gotta keep going. I can't take a rest. Trying to compete with the next person. I want to have what this person has, but what they have isn't for you, you know, and they figure that out too late sometimes. And
you yourself, have you ever found yourself in that same situation? And if you did, how did you pull yourself out?
I think I did get a little bit lost. My first real successful business, I had a catering business for 4 years in California, and I was making some pretty good money. I was catering for Activision for their lunch dinners. I was working with Universal, Disney, and it was a lot of money. I was making a lot of money quick. Like, I would make, $1,000 before, noon, and I still have the rest of the day to do, art or whatever I wanted to do that day. And at a certain point, you just kind of, everything, all your stresses are kind of gone a little bit, but now there's not really anybody to connect with. And so I just live in that. I kind of got back to myself by just, like I said, getting back into art. Because for a while I was just doing business stuff, just real estate, trading, catering, and that kind of thing. And then when I got back to art, it kind of like brought me back to what I enjoyed most about life, and just experiencing life, and not just focusing on money all the time or business. So it's always come back to the art for me.
I feel like you're one of the most hardworking people I know. you cater. I just learned that. That's insane. Do you ever find time to relax? And how hard is it to relax?
Relaxing is really hard for me. Like I've been trying to do it recently, where I take a day where I just don't do anything at all. And it's torturous. Like, I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, I should be, I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking about, oh man, I should be, all the things I should be doing. I think it's a work in progress, but I've just always been moving, always doing something or learning something. And I'm trying to take it slower because, it's just we're not meant to be machines, We're meant to, go outside, touch grass, talk to people, and communicate. So it's a struggle, I can't lie, but I'm working on it. That's all I can really say.
We really gotta give ourselves that grace as artists, as just people in general, because so many of us are working to the bone. And I find that to be the same for me, is that I'm laying down in bed, just, I don't know, watching a movie, playing a video game. I'm like, I could be doing so many other things right now. But then we forget that we are doing a lot. We are. And really just giving yourself that grace to just do nothing. It's just so important.
Like I feel so good. And then when you come back to work, you're more refreshed. You don't even realize how much you're carrying sometimes, or what you're releasing while doing that recreational activity. So
And I feel like it all comes back to capitalism, you know.
Yeah.
Like this mindset that's been ingrained in us, what we value. It's just it's these aren't our own ideas, you know. Like without that influence, I feel like we wouldn't feel bad about just vegging out on the couch.
Exactly.
And it's crazy.
And even now in the content world, like everybody wants to turn their hobbies into like some kind of money thing, and it's like, it's okay to just have to win a game. You don't got to stream it. You know, like you could just enjoy whatever that is. It doesn't have to be a business or something like that. So I think we have to get back to that too, like trying not to make something out of art, whatever we're doing. Just like enjoy it, take the phone away, having those times to just like you said, just veg out and just exist.
Would you call yourself a leader?
Oh man, it's hard. I think I've always naturally been a leader, but I don't really see myself as a leader. Like I feel like I would be better if someone were able to give me the vision and just me to do it. Just because I think about so many things all the time. That's sometimes hard to focus, but also because I've done so much by myself and know how to do so many things, it's hard for me to, because being a part of a leader is being able to delegate. And that's something I struggle with because I'm just a person that I'm just going to do it. It's hard for me to trust someone and be like, trust someone with something so important to you and like expect them to follow through, because I've just been betrayed or let down so much in the past. That's like, oh, I'll just do it myself. But you really can't do everything by yourself. It's impossible. It's a myth, So leadership for me is really taking ownership, and I think I'm good at that. So I mean, I'm a leader in some aspects, but I think it's important to know how to follow. I think every great leader needs to learn how to follow. And some people think they're leaders, but they don't really lead well because they never learn how to follow or how to listen to other people and value other people's perspective and opinions. And they just think, oh, this is how we're going to do it. This is my way. And they just do it their way. And it's just not the way to go. I'm more of a collaborative person. I'd rather partner and, be equal than me like saying, hey, you should do this or go here, But I just think who I naturally am, I just kind of naturally lead into that role. But yeah, that's kind of how I see myself. More of a collaborator.
Like, just a fun question. Let's say you are a leader, President SAEG. What are you doing in your first week in office?
Oh man, first week in office. I'm making all subscriptions free, man. I'm tired of all these subscriptions. I got subscription for everything. Like, it has to be a solution to that. I'll write something where it's like, all right, maybe one free month a year, everybody has to give away or something. I don't know, because that's just crazy. Like, too many subscriptions, man. But outside of that, probably I would want, one of my biggest things is doing stuff for the homeless and creating programs for them. So that's a big part of who I've come to be and been around. So I have a real heart for some of these people, because some people just didn't have family or just made one bad mistake, and now,
or not even a mistake, just something happens.
Just something happened, Just a lot of people don't even have savings. Like, they're just one bad day from everything just coming to peace. Like, people don't realize how easy it is to become homeless. One bad fire, one flood, one car crash. It could change everything about your life. So I would probably do something, some program or bill for them.
Yeah, we don't look out for them enough.
Yeah.
And what can we do as regular people to kind of just at least show them that they're seen? I feel like they don't even get, like, people don't see them as human. Like, they don't even talk to them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of the time, that does a lot. Just acknowledging that this person exists.
Exactly. Like, they are people, You're not looking down on them. It's hard to do on a personal level.
Yeah.
Because, it's not realistic to give $1 to every homeless person, especially depending on where you live. Like, in LA, there's so many homeless people. Like, if you gave $1 a day, you wouldn't have munching your bank account at the end of the day. I mean, it sounds good, but there needs to be more structural change and like more mental health services that are available for, unhoused people, and making things easier to get, like citizenship, or not citizenship, but identification of being in the system, because there's a lot of people that are homeless that because they don't have a house, they can't get IDs, they can't, which then furthers other things that they can't get, and then you just become behind, or especially if you have bills or whatever, or you're delinquent, in your bills, like it's hard to really do anything past that. So there needs to be programs to help people just get back on their feet, or just do more in that aspect. And on the base level, people can do more in supporting those because there are nonprofits that do that, and just getting involved in your local, home, your soup kitchens and stuff like that.
So through your art and through just your being as a person, what do you want people to take from you, from the things that you put out, just from your ventures?
With my art, I really want people to take away, I want people to feel. That's really what everything that I do. I want my art to inspire or connect with them in whatever way that is, whether they hate it, whether you like it, whatever it is, and then question yourself about it. Why do you like it? Why do you hate it? Why do you really experience, the stuff that I create is really a moment in time. Instead of, when I create, I'm not really focused on a specific goal. I'm just expressing that. It's really whatever emotion or feeling or thought, good or bad, weird or normal, whatever, it's just gonna come out as whatever. And so when I create, I want people to look at it as if they were looking at a painting. I know that it comes out as audio or however it comes out. I want people to look at it like a snapshot, or like a movie or a painting, and not necessarily. It is a reflection of me in a way, but it's not a totality of who I am. A lot of times we consume things, and it's like that becomes the totality of that person. Or if they rap, they're just a rapper, and that's all they are. And if they talk about sex or whatever, that's just all they talk about. And it's like, no, I have a range of stuff that I talk about, experiences, and I just want, when they come to it, they just connect with whatever it is. That's why I try not to explain things too much, because I want people to have their own interpretation of whatever I put out. I don't like telling them what's supposed to be or any of that. So I just want people to just, connect with it. Whether it's one time, whether you never come back again, just if you felt something, and or made you question something, or made you, want to come back to see what else I was talking about, whatever it is, that's all I want. I'm not looking to be someone's favorite artist or anything. I just want people to just connect.
Would you say that you would want people to kind of think about how they can grow based on your story and the art that you put out?
Yeah, well, I wanna share my story so that people can look at it, identify, and be like, okay, he went this route, and this is how this kind of felt, or this experience was, and learn from it, or think about how this situation was for them, or how they would have reacted in a situation, or these thoughts, or whatever it comes across, and just use that in their own life and grow from it. And like I said, question themselves really a lot. Like, why do I feel what you feel, and where does that come from? Like if I say a certain line that rubs them the wrong way, why? Was it because of how I said it? Was it because of what it was talking about? And go back, and learn about yourself. So. Yeah.
I just want to let you know that's what you're doing.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Your art has made me feel certain ways, and it's even brought a tear to my eye on an occasion or two. But is there any last words that you'd want to leave with our viewers at home?
I guess the biggest thing for me, and it's always a through line for me, is just focus on being righteous, and not necessarily being right, but just doing right by people, and realizing that you can learn from everybody, no matter how big or small, no matter if they're in your field or not. I get people all the time who aren't in the entertainment field, who've never created anything ever, and they'll give me advice, and I'm like, you don't really know what you're talking about, but I understand where you're coming from and why you're trying to help or what you're thinking about. And maybe you could have said something that I didn't think about, you know, just always being able to just hear people out, and also loving in spite of. I think a lot of times we love things for a condition, like, oh, I love this, my partner, because they make me happy or because they buy me something or whatever. And when that's gone, you know, you kind of lose connection with that person. Whereas if you just love for the act of loving something, you know, it's going to make you enjoy yourself more, especially when you look at other people, and just love people, learn to love people as a human and not as something in relation to you. Like, love and appreciate whatever it is. Love art for the art, love music for the music. Don't love it because, you know, I want to fit in with a certain crowd, or like, listen to whatever you want to listen to what connects to you. Don't try to, you know, make your own decisions about things, and be present in that moment in time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Gotta love yourself before you love anybody else.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today.
Peace.
This has been SAEG. This has been The Backyard. And we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.